Welcome to Chair Yoga for the care of Waldenstroms. We're here with a nice hearty group of practitioners, 25 people here today with us from all over the place. And we're here to get the benefits of yoga. The benefits of yoga. So first we want to understand what is yoga, and I can't repeat it enough. Yoga is not just physical postures. Although asana, or physical postures, are a very important part of our practice, we have meditation, we have breath work, we have a moral code of ethics that we practice if we're doing the whole 8-limbed system of yoga. So it's my job to, represent what yoga is as best as I can to this group. So let's go ahead and start with something other than asana practice. We're going to start with a little bit of breathing, a little bit of getting settled. I have my C-sharp singing bowl right here. And please do let me know if you can hear this, okay? Can you hear that? Okay. So what I'd like you to do is find a seat that feels comfortable. We're going to start seated and we will stand up a little later in the class. And you'll also have the opportunity to recline if that's something that works for you. So we're getting settled. Maybe you can notice your feet on the ground, your seat in the chair. And if it feels comfortable, you could close your eyes if they're not already closed. Coming into this moment exactly as you are, leaving behind all the moments that led us here, and just beginning to become aware of our own state of being, perhaps by noticing what it feels like to breathe. Noticing the air coming in through the nostrils, leaving through the nostrils or mouth. Noticing the shape change of the breath in the chest or rib cage or belly. Seeing if you could follow the next 5 breaths with as much of your awareness as possible. And maybe taking one more breath with me. And coming into our yoga space together. With a little more awareness of how we might be feeling, how we're doing today. Cultivating this mindfulness. Mindfulness is, the definition of mindfulness is pretty simple, although pretty complicated at the same time. Present moment, non-judgmental awareness. So the present moment thing I get. I know I'm wandering and I'm going other places. It's the non-judgmental part that makes it a real challenge for me. So we're going to carry this theme throughout our class, present moment, non-judgmental awareness, and then we'll conclude our class with another mindfulness practice. So following through with our promise to you to offer a well-rounded yoga practice that contains more than just asana. And just a reminder that the word yoga means to join, to yoke. So what are we joining? Our minds, our bodies, our spirits, our own personal consciousness with universal consciousness, our own community, the selves within the community joining with each other. So we can think about these things as we continue our practice and move a little bit. So go ahead and just scoot a little bit forward in your chair. So you're at the very edge of your chair, and we're working a little bit harder maybe to sit up in the chair. And from here, I'm going to tend to some of the joints in my body, working down from head to toe. So we were talking last week, what should I do on my own if I'm doing a home practice? What if the template were as simple as I'm working head to toe and I'm going to do anything that I can remember? So as I breathe in, just noticing, and as I exhale, right ear towards the right shoulder. Inhaling center, exhaling left ear, left shoulder. Breathing into center, breathing out to the right, breathing in center, and out to the left. Easy breaths, letting both shoulders relax as we move the head. Moving at your own pace. You can always close the eyes if you find my pace distracting, and go at your own pace and cultivate that mindfulness, that awareness, perhaps of any physical sensations in the body, and that non-judgment. Oh yeah, my neck still hurts, right? Maybe that's something I can withdraw any judgment from. Coming back to center, I'm going to just tilt my chin over to the right. So I'm looking over to the right. I'm coming back to center with a breath in. Exhaling my chin to the left and just moving from side to side. So I want to see how far I can go on each side without any pain or discomfort. Getting all of the joints in the body lubricated one by one, working head to toe. So many of us care for osteoarthritis. And we do want to have a little motion before we do more complicated movements. Motion is lotion. All right, coming back to center, and I might just lift my chin up a little bit and tuck my chin down. Just a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out. You go to your own level of range of motion and just noticing. Nodding the head yes. One or two more times. All right, and then we're coming back to center, and I'm going to just lift my shoulders up, back, and down a few times. You've got it. Lifting those shoulders up, back, and down a few times. Beautiful to see you, Judy. Glad you made it today. Don't think we could have this class without you, friend. Shoulders up, back, and down, shrugging off all of the moments that led to this one, coming into this moment. Feeling my feet on the earth, feeling my seat in the chair, feeling my breath. All right, and then I'm going to bring my hands together at heart center. Maybe I'd close my eyes. And I can notice the press of my palms, feeling the press of my palms, one on the other. And in my mind's eye, I could envision all of my fellow practitioners in this same posture, Anjali Mudra. And I could send out those tendrils of connection, support and receiving support. And when you're ready, you can rub the hands together. If you're wearing glasses, maybe you'd like to take your glasses off. Some of you told me you had just come from another webinar, or you were doing something else online, so let's care for the eyes. I'm going to just lightly cup my palms over my eyes and drink in a little bit of the stillness, kind of letting myself settle, letting all my wandering thoughts settle a little bit. Maybe you like to roll the eyes around. And then massaging the contour of the face when you're ready. Right, if there's any part of the face that you collect tension, for me it's my brow, my jawline. You could take a moment to give yourself a little TLC. Right, we're even moving the lymph fluid in the face as we do this. Beautiful. I love that sort of spreading the brow open. It's sort of like there's another part of me that is listening and watching, and this is my sort of wise inner self that I tend to disconnect from easily. So I'm opening that part of myself up. All right, friends. So I'm going to move a little bit farther back so we can get into the shoulders, the arms a little bit. Taking a sip of water or tea anytime you need it. All right, so let's go ahead and lift the arms out and up as far as feels safe to you. It could be just a V, maybe you go all the way. And then I'm releasing the hands down at the sides. As I inhale, palms face up, breathing in. As I exhale, maybe the palms face down, or opposite of that. You'd listen to what feels good for you. Inhaling, one or both arms up. One or both arms down. Connecting with my intention here to create some healing space for myself today. Can you take 3 more arm salutes, or self-care spheres, we can call them. That's good, Gail. Nice to see you. And last one. All right, lifting that right arm out to the right and spreading my fingers as wide as I possibly can without pain or discomfort. And then I'm going to curl my fist around my thumb and drop my knuckles down as far as feels good to me. So I'm getting a really good wrist stretch. Inhaling, lifting, spreading wide, opening those fingers. And exhaling, curling the thumb down, curling the fist down. Right? Change it up if you experience any discomfort here. One last one. You got it, Lois. Beautiful. And then I'm resting this right arm for a moment. Bringing the left arm out to the left. Nice wide fingers, maybe tipping the fingers back towards you a little bit. And then we're curling the fist around the thumb, dropping those knuckles down. You got it, Renee. Inhaling, lifting, and spreading really wide. Exhaling, dropping the knuckles down. And one more lift, spread. And wrist stretch down. You got it. And then I'm releasing this arm down. I'll lift my right arm out to the right again. Palm is lifted loosely. Right? Maybe that arm is down low already if you've got shoulder discomfort. I'm going to tip my left ear towards my left shoulder, away from the arm. You got it. And then just circling here. Some of you might still be a little bit sore from our strength training with Sharon that we had. And, you know, maybe using some muscles that we hadn't used in a while. So I'm bringing my arm down little by little. I will include the strength training link to that class in our follow-up email. So I'm tucking my arm behind my back and I'm spinning my chin down, both shoulders relaxing. I could take just a couple breaths here. Taking care of myself, coming into this moment. And then releasing and switching sides. Left arm out to the left, tilting my right ear to the right shoulder and taking those circles. You got it. Circling downward little by little. Can I stay present with what is? Without judgment. And bringing that arm behind my back or on the hip, spinning the chin down if it's not already there, softening both shoulders. And taking a breath in and a breath out. All right, and then we're coming back up and we're opening both arms and bringing the palms back a little bit. Push the heart forward, arch the back a little bit. Say hello to life. And then as we exhale, we're going to give ourselves a hug for maybe getting out of bed today. Good job, you. Inhale, opening wide. Hello there, life. Exhaling, opposite arm on top, going in for the hug. And last one, inhale, open wide. And this time we're going to interlace the fingers. And what I'll do is I'll pull the arms away from the body a little bit. So I'm creating some space in my upper back. Good, and then sitting up tall, I'm going to press my palms away, juice up my fingers. And then roll my wrists in an 8 on its side or an infinity symbol. Shake out the hands. I like that, Lois. Very graceful. I'll bring some space between my feet. And I'll slide my right hand up my right rib cage, if that would feel okay. And I'm seeing if I can lift my rib cage with my breath, joining together a movement in my body with my breath, joining together my awareness with my movement. It's a subtle movement. And then switching sides, sliding that left hand up the left rib cage, seeing if I could lift the rib cage with my breath. Good, and then we'll come back and stretch that right arm up and over as we lean to the left, soften the left shoulder, and really feel that length. One big breath here. Come back to center. Good, inhaling the left arm up and over, leaning to the right, right shoulder relaxed, really stretching, finding our breath, one breath, and releasing to center. And now if you want to flow a little bit from side to side, maybe you can close the eyes and flow at your own pace. Right? It's so hard to find my pace sometimes if I'm watching someone else. Flowing from side to side and feeling that space in the side body. And if you've got shoulder or arm discomfort, you can modify by sliding the hand up the rib instead. Got it. One more on each side. And then I'm coming back and I'm taking my strong goddess pose. I'm really surprised, Mary, that your cactus yoga picture, she's wearing a t-shirt today that says cactus yoga and all the cacti are in various positions. I'm surprised that we didn't get a goddess pose. So we have our arms out like cactus in the desert, and our legs are strong, rooting down into the earth. And we could stay here like this, or if we want a little bit more, we could flick the fingers across the palms like we're flicking water away. And we're starting slow. We might get a little faster. Non-judgmentally becoming aware of which hand feels more in control. Which hand feels more dexterous? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the arms down. Take a breath. Notice the vitality in your shoulders, your arms, your palms. That's good, Beth. Now we're lifting the arms up again, coming back into our cactus arms and strong stance, goddess pose. And I'm going to swish my wrists, circling the wrists slowly at first. I might get a little faster. And I'm just noticing again how this feels for me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the arms down. That's good, Catherine. Shake it out. And I'm taking a breath here, letting it go. Circling my torso when I'm ready. Maybe I could take an inhale for half the circle and an exhale for the other half. And I'm just noticing how this feels for me in my lower back, in my middle back, in my upper back, in my hips. Can move the other direction. Good, and then I'm slowly making my way back to center after having woken up the spine a bit. So waking up the spine. Now I'm going to wake my spine up even more. Again, I'm coming back into my goddess shape here, and I'm just going to twist my torso to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Maybe I'm only going a little bit and just going 1 or 2 degrees to one side and 1 or 2 degrees to the other side. Seeing if I could just notice how this feels for me. Got it, Ron. Beautiful. I'm taking 1 more on each side. Coming back to center and giving myself a juicy hug. Tucking my chin. Forgiving myself for always wandering away. When I bring myself back into the present moment, that is the practice. That's it right there. All right, so let's step our feet back in. You could hold on to the chair for this. Step our feet back out. Stepping in, stepping out. Breathing. Noticing if my body is rocking side to side, is there something I could do to stabilize so it doesn't do that? Although if it does do that, there's no judgment on my part. You've got it, Susan. Nice. 1 more, and then we'll meet in the middle. And I'm going to extend my right leg out. See how that feels, Carol. And then we're switching sides. Gingerly, if you've got knee issues, right? We're not going to push past pain or discomfort, just extending. And maybe it's just the tiniest bit ever. Or maybe you skip it. Extending 1 at a time. You got it, Allison. Thinking of your knees too, my friend. All right. And now let's keep the right heel on the earth. And I'm just going to be pumping the foot. So I'm pressing down and lifting all the way up and back. Ankle pumps, foot pumps, whatever you might call them. I was so excited, my friends. My dad finally saw a palliative care doctor. Thanks to your you're helping me advocate. And the palliative care doctor gave him this exercise to help him with getting the blood pressure elevated or lifted a little bit before he stands up because he gets dizzy. Let's switch sides. So helpful. I can see an improvement in his quality of life even after one visit with this doctor. So I can't say enough about palliative care as an option for people who are in treatment. You know, it's not a hospice situation. We're still in treatment. We're trying to fix things. So ankle pumps, yes, endorsed by a palliative care doctor at Penn Medicine. Yay! Let's come back to center. Yeah, it's really nice to hear. And we're going to work towards coming to stand. So some of you were in the strength training class. We did a lot of squats. Some of us may have exacerbated, knee stuff with that. So we're not going to practice nearly as many of those, but we do practice these squats to some degree in our classes. So if you want to come to stand today, maybe your option to stay seated is there as well. I'm going to create a little momentum. My nose is over my knees. And maybe I've brought my feet back a little bit. And I might have to hold on to the chair. And I might lift up a little bit and come right back down. And as I lift up a little bit, I'm really using those glute muscles. And I'm noticing which muscles I use to do this. If this causes any pain or discomfort in your knees, please skip it. Do not do it. And then I might just come to stand, coming to stand and walking it out. And if I'm seated, I could walk in place, right? So we're going to walk it out a little bit here, making any adjustments to your space that you might need, taking a sip of water, taking care of yourself. That's right. Walking in place, opposite arm, opposite leg, opposite arm, opposite leg, swinging those arms, getting the juices flowing, getting the lymph fluid flowing. Opposite arm, opposite leg. You've got it, Joanne. We're all taking a walk together. Taking a walk. Doing this seated. If you are not standing, you can walk in place. And as we're on our walk, we're noticing things. Oh yes, Joanne's garden is looking lovely. And Beth's succulents have no longer been attacked by raccoons. And we get to know each other in these classes. All right, now I'm going to come to a stop here and take a wider stance. And I'm just going to circle my hips. That's right. Circling my hips. I like to put my hands on my hips and sort of imagine that ball and socket joint, right? The head of the femur going into the upside down coffee cup of the hip. Moving the other direction. It could be just a tiny, tiny, tiny little movement. You got it, Linda. All right, and then I'm going to let my arms come down at my sides. And I'm doing a little more side bending here, flowing at my own pace, right arm reaching up and over, coming back to center. Inhale, left arm reaching up and over, coming back to center. And as I reach from side to side, I'm noticing I'm letting the opposite shoulder be loose and relaxed. Finding my breath, one more on each side. All right, coming back to center, and I'll bring my feet back to about hips width distance apart. I'm noticing my feet on the earth, whether I'm seated or standing. I might want to send a little request to my toes to lift and spread. So I'm digging my toes back into the earth, lifting and spreading them, digging them back down. Noticing with non-judgmental awareness the state of my toes and seeing what my toes feel like doing today. Maybe I could press the big toes down and lift all the little toes. Press the little toes down, lift the big toes, and go back and forth, having this conversation with my toes, with my feet. You got it, Renee. All right. And then before we go to tiptoes, I want to do a little chair pose. So a chair pose is basically the squats we were doing in Sharon's class. If you have knee stuff, maybe you do a very, very gentle version of this. So I'm going to bend my knees and I bring my hips back. And we were in this position a lot for her class. And I felt like after a while it kind of did hurt my low back. So I want to remind you to pull your belly towards your spine and turn on the glute muscles, right? So I'm trying to distribute my effort across other muscles than putting this pressure on my low back. And also, I'm isometrically pushing my feet apart. So that helps me turn on the muscles in my glutes. And then from here, I might just bring my hands to heart center. So I've been in my chair pose for a while now. And you're not screaming at me, you're not running away, you're doing great. Big breath in, and then come out of it. So it's the holding of the pose is a nice way to do a squat / chair pose, rather than coming in and out of it. Just try that on for size. Walking it out, opposite arm, opposite leg. All right. Coming into our tiptoes. So coming up onto the tiptoes, I've connected with my feet, and I'm going to non-judgmentally lift up onto my tiptoes and come on down. And just float and fly and flutter as high as I want, as slow as I want. Maybe it's a short little hop. Maybe you're learning to fly. Maybe you're just doing the arm movements. That's good, Sophie. Coming up onto tiptoes and floating downwards. You got it, Marnie. Can I do 3 more of these? Mindfully aware of how this feels. I love it, Jane. Last one. Coming to a soft landing. All right, then I'm going to turn towards my chair. I'll step my right foot forward and my left foot back, right? So you've got your modifications on this one, Allison. The right foot forward, left foot back, and I'm sinking into my right knee, squeezing my left glute, right? If you've got knee issues, you could try something a little different. Try turning on different muscles by either pushing the feet apart or pulling the feet towards each other. And then from here, beautiful, I like it. Just the hands to heart center or one hand resting on the heart if you need the chair for support. And I'm trying to move away from my torso being leaning forward and to being upright, and I'm tucking my chin. I'm embodying the strength of a warrior who also has a bit of grace, a bit of softness or suppleness, and that can come with my breath. If I felt safe doing so, I could inhale both arms up and exhale the hands to heart center. I might also like to straighten the leg and do this again. Exhale, sink into the knee. Got it. One more. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, sink down. All right, and then we're releasing out of this. I'm shortening my stance a little bit. Both legs are straight, and I'm going to notice my chin here. My chin wants to jut forward, and I'm going to tuck it before I even start taking a bow. Taking a bow with a tucked chin, both legs are engaged, and I'm working towards finding a healthy stretching sensation in the belly of the muscle on my right thigh, my right hamstring, excuse me, back of the thigh. If I feel like my lower back feels exacerbated here, I could tuck my belly up towards my spine. You know who you are. And when I'm ready, I'll come up. You got it. I'm going to place a little bit of weight in my right foot. I'm holding on to my chair for this. Right? Maybe you don't need to. I mean, we did some pretty incredible things in Sharon's class without holding on. But I'm going to try to lift up my left leg. And I'm leaning forward. So I'm just practicing. Oh, I almost kicked my singing bowl over. Practicing lifting up my left leg a few times. And then I might hold it. Pull the belly towards the spine, tuck my chin, big breath, and then reset. Coming back to walking in place. That's good. Giving yourself a little extra TLC. If you're seated, you might try to follow 5 breaths in a row. You might march in place with me. All right. Knowing you can always choose to come to sit if you start to feel like our stuff is too much. Warrior 1 on the other side. Left foot forward, right foot back. That right foot is at a little bit of an angle, and we're sinking into the left knee to whatever degree feels stabilizing, comfortable for you. We're adding, maybe pushing the feet apart or towards each other to kind of activate more muscles surrounding the knee. And the hands can come to heart center or one hand on the heart. And I'm finding my strength and my ease here. Finding my breath. It's beautiful, Linda. And we're flowing a little bit if we so choose, lifting the arms up, straightening the leg. Reach up and grab a little bit of something you need. Bring it into your heart. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, sink down or stay in your warrior as is. Beautiful. Releasing from this pose into the next. Shortening my stance, reminding myself to tuck that chin before I take my bow. Finding what feels best to me. Maybe it's just my forearms on my chair. Right? I'm trying not to round my back. I want to really have a nice flat back, especially for those of us caring for osteoporosis, osteopenia. It's beautiful, Marnie. So strong through both legs. You got it, Bill. And we're finding one more breath. And slowly coming up. Beginning to put a little bit of weight into my left foot. I'm holding onto my chair for this. I could choose to skip this if I don't feel it's good for my leg. I'm lifting my right leg up behind me, kicking it up behind me. Right? Allison, you remember the modification we had for this one, right? Yeah. Good. Maybe you want to hold for a millisecond. Good, tucking that chin, flying through space, and then releasing out of it, or not flying through space. That's good, Anne. That was beautiful. Walking it out, dancing it out. Is there a dance move you want to show me? I like that. Going over to Carol's house for a little hula. Yes, just mirroring, my friends. Like that, Linda. That's nice. Got a little extra hip thing going on there. And then we're swaying in the wind with Anne. We're swaying in the wind. Oh, I know you love that one, Beth. Get the whole body into that one. Yeah, maybe a few little torso twists could feel good. Loose and airy. You got it. Taking that torso twist if you're seated. And then I'm just going to lean my chest forward here and let my arms hang. And I'm going to let my arms swing. Feeling the space opening up in my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists, my finger joints. Letting all of those moments that make up my past just go for now. Letting them go. I am who I am right in this moment. All right. And then when you're ready, you can come up to stand, turn that chair around, and we'll come to sit. You can make it an exercise if you like by coming down really slowly, caring for your knees if you have knee issues. Good. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee if that feels wise for you. Some of you might have knee issues, and for those of you who can't do this, you might want to modify just by crossing a knee over a knee. Right? Otherwise, if you're able to do this somewhat, you might really pay attention to flexing and not pointing this right foot. Because you can see if I'm pointing, if I'm just loose here, nothing is happening in my shin muscle. If I'm flexing, I can feel the shin muscle working. This is helping keep my knee safe. So I'm going to reach my heart forward. If I want more sensation, I might already be feeling enough. And I'm noticing what happens with my chin here. So I might just look down at the earth, let the shoulders relax, find a couple breaths in my hip stretch. Modifying this however I need. All right, you've got it. And then we're sitting up, crossing the knee over, embracing our wellness community. How we've grown. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, twist to the right. Taking my hands down in support of my twist, but using my torso muscles to twist. So I'm just peeking over my right shoulder. Taking one more breath and relaxing back to center. Switching sides with that left ankle over the right knee. Modifying however we need. Maybe it's a knee nestled on top of a knee. And we're flexing, not pointing this leg. Finding what feels best. Reaching the heart forward, flat back. Shoulders are relaxed. Chin is tucked. That's beautiful, Catherine. Very nice. Very nice. Like someone is pulling a string from the crown of my head. And my neck is nice and long in the back. Attending to my breath. Releasing up. When you're ready, crossing that knee over. Again, here we are all together in this moment. There'll never be another moment like this one. Taking our twist to the left and letting the arms drape down wherever they land. I'm sitting up tall. I'm not necessarily concerned with my neck twisting so much as I am my torso twisting. Right? So if you're really hunching forward in the back, in the upper back, see if you can keep your chin level with the earth. That's good. And then we're slowly unwinding back to center, taking one more big stretch, whatever that might look like for you. Make any other movements your body's asking for. Maybe you want to take another little sip of water. And then we'll close with a very short meditation. So I'll invite you to come to a seated posture or a reclining posture if you're somebody who needs a little extra nourishment today. You might go ahead and lie down on the couch or bed or floor. So we're getting ourselves comfortable. If I'm in the seated posture, I might want to slide to the back of my chair. I might want to drape a blanket or a pillow across my lap. Finding what feels best for me, putting on a layer. Feeling my feet on the earth, the length of my spine. This physical container is but one element of my human experience. So I've relaxed my physical container by the physical practice. And now I'm ready to exercise my mind. Exercising my mind in just the practice of staying present. Seeing if for the next minute I could just keep my awareness focused on something. It could be the breath, it could be the sound of the singing bowls or my voice, but finding one thing to attach your attention to. It could be the feeling of the breath. Just staying present. Widening out my awareness to include our entire wellness community. Asking that you do the same. To send out those tendrils of community support to one another. That you are not alone. And that being in a group can be unto itself therapeutic. In your practice, you could bring your hands to heart center, and you could just listen or join in as we create the sound of one Om and 3 Shantis. Shanti means peace. We could send that Shanti out as far and wide as our energy will allow. Breathing in. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. And thanking you so much for your practice, my friends. I hope to see you on Friday for our sound meditation. And since it is National Caregivers Month, I'll invite you to invite a caregiver. And that can be somebody who is physically near you, or maybe you live with someone who can be considered a caregiver. Or that can be somebody who is far away from you and you share the Zoom link with them. So our sound meditation this Friday, and then our yoga nidra is also something you can invite your caregivers to. And the caregiver, the term caregiver can be defined however you choose. It could simply be somebody in your life who at times is supportive and cares for you. It doesn't have to be somebody who's bringing you glasses of water in the middle of the night. So, although that's nice too, to have that. So feel free to extend the invitation to all of your caregivers, however you define that, to our sound meditation and our yoga nidra, and I'll follow up with more details on that. Friday, our class will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll be doing just a 30-minute sound meditation, and that will be for you and for your caregivers as well.